Question, who's your favorite paramotor pilot in the world?
You.
Aww. So we're down here at the park, and my paramotor spontaneously got a herpes infection on the exhaust. You know how like if you get salt water on your exhaust, it like breaks out in this nasty white crustiness? It happened, and I don't even know how it happened because I didn't get my exhaust wet or anything. But we're here at the park, and the winds are a little strong, but Dan took off and disappeared and maybe got above some clouds somewhere. So I think that's what we're gonna try to do. I think I'm gonna launch pretty soon. Jeff is back there with his free ride, and we're gonna go probably for a long flight. But my intent for today, I wanted to do like a discussion on the top X amount, I don't have a quantity in mind, of paramotor myths. And these are impressions or misinterpretations that people that see the sport for the first time think, but aren't really true. So we're gonna talk about some of that, and maybe it'll give you guys some insight on why not to get into the sport, because I always talk about like why you should get into the sport because it's awesome. But if you're kind of banking on some of these misconceptions, then maybe you shouldn't. So that's the plan. We're gonna go for it.
Yep. We are off to a fantastic start. Man, I gotta be honest, ever since the park back here instituted the whole permit system, I've been a little bit more paranoid when we fly from here. Obviously, we try to do our best to like just take off and leave and not bother anyone. But there's people in the parking lot just watching us. And I mean, they're probably happy people that are like, wow, those are neat. But I'm over here like, is that the FAA? Has someone hired a private investigator? Why is that guy watching me? So part of my goal for this flight was to get above some clouds, and for the most part they've dispersed, but there's some little tiny stragglers right up ahead that don't look that high. They're maybe twice my height right now. I think Jeff and I are gonna go plunder them. I feel like we might strike gold with the little wispies down below. Got this nice thick cloud to our left. Oh yeah, that's a beauty. Look at her catching the sunlight. A little rotund cloud. Ah, dude! That is some goodness right there. Oh, I'm so glad I wore my coffee jacket. Jeff's up here in a damn t-shirt and shorts. I bet he's freezing right now. But so glorious up here. I guess we may as well, start the chat about the common misconceptions or myths now that we got this freaking fabulous view going on. So one of the number one things that, if I meet a random person that's seeing a paramotor for the first time, they'll say like, what happens if the engine dies? Is it all over? Do you have a backup parachute if the engine fails? Or, so if your engine dies, you just come crashing down, right? And completely honestly, like, I feel like a paramotor is probably the safest craft to have an engine failure on. Because look, oh no! My engine went to idle. Now I just start slowly descending. Like it's not even a big deal at all. So having an engine failure, as long as you're kind of paying attention to where you're flying and you're not flying directly above trees or directly above water, it really isn't a big deal. It's almost a non-event. It should be a non-event. And it's good to even practice. Like we do kind of simulated motor failures all the time, just gliding in for a landing at the end of a flight. I guess I'm gonna follow Jeff's lead and wing over in this little gap here. He's dropping down low. We may as well. New free ride mobile is handling so nicely. She's fresh, she's crispy. Well, let's enjoy a little bit of gliding. The next big misconception I think a lot of people have about paramotoring, this is a big one, probably number one, is people don't realize what weather constraints we have. People will think that we can fly any day, any time of the day, and any day of the year. But the biggest realization I think you come to as you learn more about this sport is how weather dependent it is. First off, we normally stick to sunrise or sunset because those are the calmest winds and there's less thermal activity from the sun heating up the earth below. So that gives us smooth air. And then beyond that, we have to have a calm day. So a lot of people, they get into the sport thinking, I'm going to be able to fly just like a fixed wing airplane, in a lot of conditions. Not tornadoes and not thunderstorms, but we're actually way more weather dependent than your standard airplane. Because we're so small and lightweight and our strings that can go dangle, we have to have really good weather conditions. But that's kind of part of the game. You gotta search for that good weather, and when you get that good weather, like tonight, it all becomes worth it. Look at that wingtip touch. Glorious! So yeah, the big thing you should know is just be ready to become a weatherman if you get into this sport. You gotta watch forecasts all the time, and you gotta be flexible with your work schedule and your life and everything. Sometimes you gotta miss Christmas. I know the family might hate you, but it's a flyable night. You gotta go snatch that good weather. Another big thing I see a lot of people kind of misinterpret is they think you can use a paramotor for transportation. And I may be guilty of kind of creating that image due to the whole McDonald's video. People think that, you can fly to a fast food restaurant. Well, one, we already know that the weather has to be perfect, so count out that on a regular basis. And two, the amount of fast food restaurants or whatever it may be, your work, your home, whatever place you're trying to fly to, it has to be a large, wide open area. There can't be power lines, there can't be trees, there can't be light poles. It has to be a nice, wide open area. And then you have to have the weather to align. And then also take into consideration that we fly really slow at 25 miles an hour. So you've got about 3 hours worth of gas, and at 25 miles per hour, you're not going very far. So it's not like I can say, hey, I'm in New Jersey and I want to take a quick trip to Ohio. It doesn't work like that. I flew to McDonald's that one time. Oh my God, that blue heron just took a massive dump. I'll tell you what, if that showed up on the GoPro, we just capture some Nat Geo shit right there. So yeah, the constraints on using it as a practical form of transportation is just not really a thing. You might be able to pull it off a couple times and it's a fun trick. Oh my God, a turkey! Ah, there's so much wildlife out here. Man, that chicken farm stinks. So misconception number 5, question mark, is I feel like a lot of people, when they first learn about this sport, they think all wings are created equal. A lot of times when I show a new wing that I got or a new wing that I'm testing, and it's like a competition level slalom high performance glider, a lot of people will comment hey, would you recommend this wing to a beginner? Would this be a good first wing? And there's such a range of different wings you can get for a paramotor, starting with the beginner to the advanced. It goes through a rating system that's A, B, C, D unrated. And if you're smart and you go through the progression step by step, you'll start with an A wing, and then you'll get a B wing, and then a C, and then a D, and then eventually an unrated glider. A lot of people don't realize how different each level of wing is. You gain so much more performance, you sacrifice some safety. A more advanced wing demands more advanced skills. It really is a progression to get yourself up to the level of a competition style unrated wing. Little wangle jangle, pull on the strings a little bit. We're down on a nice pasture. My last and final common myth is that people think we have to stay 500 to 1,000 feet above the ground. And I say that while I'm flying about 3 feet off the ground, just to say that that is not true. Often people kind of mistake our rules with the general aviation rules, and general fixed-wing airplanes are supposed to stay 500 feet above the ground on non-populated areas and 1,000 over populated areas. But the rules for paramotors are much different. All it says for us is that we can't fly over populated areas at all. Regardless of the altitude, we're not allowed to fly over people. But if you're over a field like this, you can legit be 1 inch off the ground and be completely legal. That's cool. And this falcon, I think, is trying to attack me. Oh shit, yeah, he's coming in hot. I think I'm a little faster though. Yep, buddy retreated. Take that, falcon. I'm way faster than you. I see police lights in the distance. Yet again, I'm paranoid. I feel like they're gonna chase us down, but it's most definitely unrelated. Yeah, buddy. Nice little sunset cloud action. Way up here, probably 3,000 or 4,000 feet. This is all that's left of the clouds. Got my strobe on for maximum visibility. How freaking beautiful is that? Oh yeah, sun rays are bouncing off these little wispy clouds. Neil, you know what they say, all good things must come to an end. What a sad thing to say, you know? Well, I turned my motor off. I am officially falling from the sky, crashing at a very extremely slow rate. Dude! What a sunset. That is a sunset of epic proportions. And I'm staring directly at it. So I'm guaranteed, yep, to have little dots in my eyes for the next 20 minutes. Worth it? Damn. That's magnificent.
All right, we have come full circle. We're back at home. Tonight's flight was 10 out of 10 awesome. Had some down low flying, some up high flying in the clouds, freaking beautiful sunset. And I hope you guys enjoyed the discussion of common misconceptions or myths about paramotoring. I've been enjoying filming sort of discussion style videos where I go out and just have a fun flight, but have something interesting to talk about. So let me know in the comments if you have any other discussion topic suggestions that you want to see in the future, and drop a like if you enjoyed it. As always, I will see you guys in the next one. So till then, peace.